1. Number 1 says, write the equation of the vertical line. That's a really big hint, vertical line. Passes through the point negative 5, 2. So a vertical line is always going to be what kind of form? It's x equals something, right? Because if you tried to ski it, you'd get x'd out. Slope is undefined, for sure. So I'm asking for the equation of the line. So the fact that it's asking for a vertical line tells me, man, if I tried to ski a vertical line, I would get x'd out. Yes? Yeah. So I'm going to put x equals, and then I got to figure out what x equals. Passes through the point negative 5, 2. What would you guys guess x equals? It's negative 5. Yeah, it's the x coordinate. So x equals negative 5. And then number 2, write the equation of the horizontal line. Of course, that looks like this. Again, that's a really big hint. If you think about a horizontal line, you would ask yourself, why would I ski that? All right, it's flat. Why would I ski that? And so a horizontal line will always be what kind of form? Y equals something. And so in this case, y would equal what?
-4.
Yep, y always equals negative 4 for that particular horizontal line. Any questions on 1 or 2? Again, I'm asking you for the equation of the line, not the value of the slope. If I did, let's go there. I didn't ask this, but if I said, what's the slope of a vertical line, what would you say? Yeah, that's undefined. Again, if you tried to ski a vertical line, you'd get undefined. And for number 2, the slope of a horizontal line is 0. Again, if you tried to ski it, you'd go 0. Okay, cool. All right, so number 3. Number 3 does not ask for the equation of any line. It says, what is the slope of the line that passes through those points? Did you guys use a particular relationship for this? There we go. Yes. So the change in y, which is this, over the change in x, which is that. So one way you could do this is you could say that y2 is negative 7. If y2 is negative 7, it would be negative 7 minus 8. Good. Divided by 6 minus, curious result, right? Because you end up with negative 15, which is no big deal, but then what's the denominator?
0.
Huh, okay, so negative 15 over 0. Can you do that? No, this would be does not exist, right? You can't divide by 0. So what kind of a line must this have been?
Vertical.
It must have been a vertical line. Had to have been vertical because the slope is undefined. Okay. Still okay with 1, 2, 3? Okay, and the last one on this page, number 4. What is the slope-intercept of the equation of the line that passes through the point 0, 5 and has a slope of 2? A couple ways you could do this. Here's one way. You could start off with point slope, which is, bless you, this right here. And then you'd say, all right, well, it's y minus the y-coordinate, and the y-coordinate is 5, equals slope, which is 2, times x minus the x-coordinate, and that's 0. That, of course, is point slope form. If I want to go to slope-intercept form, what do I need to do to that? Distribute. Okay, fair enough. So if I distribute, I get y minus 5 equals, well, it's 2x, but what's 2 times 0?
0.
Just 0, so it's minus 0, but there's really no good reason to write that. To finish this off, to get it all the way to slope-intercept form, what do I do?
Add 5.
Add 5, both sides, yep. So did you guys get y equals 2x plus 5? Okay. Say again? No, so I said there's a couple ways you could do this. Here's another way. You could have looked at this, and maybe you did this, Ava, and see 0, 5. The fact that it's 0, comma 5 tells you something very important. What does it tell you?
But that's the intercept.
That's the y-intercept. Not the intercept, that's the y-intercept. Because there also is an x-intercept, specifically the y-intercept, yeah. So then based on that, couldn't you just say, all right, well, fine. The slope is 2, and the y-intercept is 5.
Yeah.
The b is 5.
That's what I did.
You could absolutely do that too. I thought I'd show you more of a general approach that would work anytime, but for this one, that would work great, for sure. Okay. Questions? Okay, so then if you haven't already completed or started working on 5, 6, 7, please continue on with that. I'll get these up here on the screen, or at least as many of them as I can. I think number 5 takes up a bunch of space. Yeah. So there's 5. There's 6 and 7. I'll just maybe leave it right here for now. Anyways, please try to complete 5, 6, 7. Hopefully we're doing great, and this will be it for our day today. Okay, so number 5 obviously is trying to take graphs right off of a graph and write the equation for those. So let's start off with the red line. Any suggestions on what you think the equation for that red line is? Chase, what do you think? Y equals 5. I totally agree. Horizontal line, why would I ski it? At 5, right? Y equals 5. Awesome. How about the blue line? Anybody have a suggestion on the blue line? What do you think, Whit?
X equals -3.
X equals -3. Of course, it's vertical, so if you tried to ski it, you'd get X'd out, and it is happening at X equals -3. Looking pretty good. Any questions on the red or the blue? Okay. How about the green? The green line? Joe, what do you think about the green line?
Y equals 2/4x, or actually, you could do y equals 1/2 x minus 4.
1/2 X minus 4. What do you guys think? Agree on that? Yes? Good? Any questions on the green line? Kyrie, how about the orangish, yellowish line there?
Y equals -3x plus 2.
Y equals -3x plus 2. What do you guys think?
Why is it 4?
For which one, Callie? The orange one? What did you get for the orange one?
I got y equals 3x plus 2.
So quite similar, but importantly different, right? One of them, the slope is negative. The other one, the slope is positive. Do you guys remember, what is a really quick way to determine if the slope should be negative or if the slope should be positive? I'll let you say it since you had one of the answers up there.
If it's like going like up and down, it's usually positive, and if it's going down.
And we always judge that from left to right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as you go from, like if you think of a truck driving from left to right, once it hits your slope, if that truck would be heading downhill, the slope should be negative. If that truck were heading uphill like that, then the slope should be positive. So it should be a -3x plus 2 for that one. That makes sense, Callie?
Yeah, I actually wrote like 3/1 and both had negative and didn't realize.
No problem. Yeah, totally. I get it. You bring up, well, you know what? Here's the cool thing about class is since we're just here to learn and practice, even if you like mistakenly read your writing wrong and think it's something else, it still brings up a good point, right? So I'm glad you did. Glad you did say that. Okay, so I think we got them all up there. Are you guys all okay with that one? Any questions? Okay, awesome. So then our final two, number 6 and 7, are right here. Number 6 says, what is the slope-intercept? Oh, this is one of those ones we did yesterday, right? What is the slope-intercept of the equation of the line that passes through the point -4, 7 and is parallel to this other line? I think I got to ask this. What are the two things you got to have to find the equation of any line? Slope and a point on the line. Yep. So I need those two things. Of those two things, the slope or the point, which one do I have like right away? They just kind of just tell you immediately. It's the point on the line. Aiden, what's the point that's on my line?
-4, 7.
That's exactly right. So they just kind of tell us that our line passes through that point. The slope is a little tougher. We know that we're parallel, like our line is parallel to that other line. What is the relationship between parallel lines?
Slope is the same.
Slopes are the same. So if we could just figure out the slope of that other line, we'd have it, wouldn't we? What's the slope of that other line?
2.
It's right here, isn't it? It's in point slope form, but that tells you the slope. So that means my slope will also be 2 because my line is parallel to that one. So then hopefully we would get things plugged in the right places. We'd go y minus 7 equals 2 times x minus -4. Good? And now we got to get the slope intercept. Irene, what would you do first if we were going to get the slope intercept from there?
Distribute the 2.
Awesome. And when you do that distributive property, what do you get?
2x plus 8.
You guys okay with that?
Yep.
Final step would be to get rid of that -7. We do that by doing what? Good. So when we add 7 over, we end up with y equals positive 2x plus 15. Take a quick look at what you have. Look at your steps, your process. Wondering if you have any questions. If anything we did confused you, I definitely want to try to reduce that confusion or eliminate it altogether. Anything I can do to help you. Making a video of this, so And it's going right now. So if you want to go back and review, you can always watch the video we post a little bit later. Okay, let's tackle our final question then. That is number 7. Number 7 says, what is the point slope equation? So it's a little bit different, of the line that passes through the point 3, -1 and is perpendicular to that line right there. It's my last chance to ask you guys this. What are the two things you got to have to write the equation or the graph of any line?
Slope and slope.
All right, so we're going to go for the slope and a point. And of those two things, what has been directly given to you? The point. What point does my line go through?
3, -1.
There it is. There it is. Okay, so then my line, the one that I'm trying to figure out here, is perpendicular to that other line. So this is a little bit different than parallel. Similar enough, but importantly different. Faith, what's the relationship between perpendicular lines?
They cross each other?
They do cross each other, agreed, but they cross each other in a very specific way, right?
The slope, you do the reciprocal and the opposite?
There it is, reciprocal and opposite, right? So what's the slope of this line right here?
-3/5.
And so the slope for my line will not be -3/5 because they're not parallel.
5/3.
It'll be positive 5/3 because we reciprocal it and we change the sign. So 5/3 would be my slope right there. And did you guys notice this one is a little bit unique? It says, what is the point slope equation? So this is actually going to finish a little bit easier than the other ones we've done. It would be y minus -1 equals 5/3 times x minus 3. Make sense? You have any questions at all? Yeah, Kyrie.
So, would it be okay if you put y plus 1?
Totally. Yep, totally fine. What else? Okay, so I'm sure you can well guess your concept quiz next, gosh, I think it's like next Tuesday, I want to say. I'm just guessing. I think it's next Tuesday. You gotta figure your concept quiz is going to look an awful lot like these 7 questions to some degree. So I'm hoping that the only thing standing between you and a bunch of 3s and 4s is the fact you just need to keep practicing and stay sharp, right? Question, Noah? November 1st. Still a decent ways away. And the time in between would be when you can do your retries. Like the retries on your Unit 2 concept quizzes. 31st is your last day to do that. Halloween. Right? It's a coincidence. Okay, guys, web assign time, practice time. You guys have at least 10 minutes here. So give it a go. I think we're done at 5 after, 2:05.